Hi, I'm ABC6 News anchor John DeLuca.
And I'm ABC6 News anchor Alexandra Cowley.
Since 1785, all roads have led to Bristol on the 4th of July for the oldest continuous Independence Day celebration in the nation.
The 4th of July celebration is a culmination of 3 weeks of grand celebration, which begins on Flag Day, June 14th.
The legal separation of the 13 original colonies from Great Britain actually happened on July 2nd, 1776. The original resolution of independence was by Richard Henry Lee of Virginia, declaring the United States independent from Great Britain. Congress then turned its attention on forming a statement explaining this decision, which had been prepared by a committee of 5 with Thomas Jefferson as its principal author, which was ratified by the full Congress on July 4th, 1776. Well, the fact is that British had invaded Bristol during the Revolutionary period, and the town was burned, and much loot was taken by the British before the Americans could rally to defend themselves. Eventually, the Bristol and Warren residents chased the British from Bristol back to Newport, and then the tally was taken. We believe that much blood was shed by the British on the way to their fleet waiting for them at Bristol Narrow.
There were 2 or 3 bombardments of Bristol by British naval ships, and sometimes they were just looking for sheep and animals to feed their sailors or their troops. Other times they were doing kind of an enforcement to get the coastal towns to stop, being behind the cause of the Revolution. The major engagement in Rhode Island was down in Portsmouth. The Battle of Rhode Island was a battle that took up the lives for about 2 or 3 months of 30 to 40,000 men.
The celebration actually started as a grassroots movement in 1785, and it was begun by Reverend Dr. Henry White. He was the Congregationalist minister. He was also an actor in the Revolutionary War. So when he came to Bristol and took over the Congregational Church, the war was still raging, but he decided it was time to celebrate the Constitution. So it was in 1815 that the town council appointed its first celebration committee. And then it was later that when these things kept going on, all the marches, they decided to actually appoint a chief marshal who could organize things and get things going.
And my friend Mary Lou is here, and her grandchildren are coming, and her children, and all of her friends for 4th of July. And Mary Panarella lives here, and she was Mary McCarthy, my best friend. And now this is her house, and she lives there with her husband and her children and her grandchildren. They'll all come for the 4th, and all of the backyards will be filled with love.
I think it means family, friends, and loads of food. We used to go climbing ourselves and get the clams, and then come home and make chowder and clam cakes. And then they would eat the clam cakes as fast as we made them, so we never got out of the kitchen.
This is the spot that we've always sat. Now Poppy, who Sarah would have met when she was a baby, passed away in 1999, but this is his blanket. And we'd sit, all of the guests here. The kids would all get a flag and a balloon, and Poppy was the glue that kept it all together.
Pop loved 4th of July. He'd get up and he'd run down Hope Street you know, walking back and forth, looking up all his old friends, all his old neighbors. He was in his glory. He loved that. Then he'd come home and say, "Are you going to go up to the corner?" And I said, "No, I'm not going up to the corner," because we were cooking, you know. But I mean, he would do that, I don't know how many times during the day, and I'd finally say, "When I hear the band, that's when I'm going to go up to the corner," not 1 minute before, because we were busy cooking here. But 4th of July was his day. He loved 4th of July.
And he'd keep everybody happy till the parade came down here. And we'd all be excited with cold drinks and hats to keep the sun off our head.
Old friends would come from the city, my mother's friends, my father's friends, my friends, then family on top of that. The children would enjoy the carnival, we would enjoy the parade, and of course, I mean, we would enjoy the food, and then the fireworks at night. So it hasn't changed that much, it's just got bigger.
And when I was a little older than you know how you love Little House on the Prairie? I love Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier. And he came right up the street, and I had a camera. First time I was taking a big picture. And I was going to take my very best picture ever of Davy Crockett. And I got it right in the center, and it was perfect. And I said, yes! Bristol is the 4th of July, and it's generational. It carries on. Your children kind of have their heart beating a little faster, thinking it's almost here.
Welcome back to Reflections of the 4th. I'm ABC 6 News morning anchor Doreen Scanlon.
And I'm morning anchor Michael Cross.
In Bristol and throughout our great land, June 14th is Flag Day.
Flag Day commemorates the adoption of the flag of the United States, which happened by resolution of the Second Continental Congress in 1777.
It also marks the beginning of Bristol's grand celebration of our nation's independence.
Red, white, and blue flags flying along the roads, on front porches, and pretty much everywhere else you look in the town of Bristol.
Happy Flag Day.
The patriotic pride showing up in the seaside town about 2 weeks before the 4th of July on Flag Day, which is June 14th.
It's the kickoff. I always try to have my house ready and our flags up, and we decorate out there every year.
Nancy Correo's lived in Bristol all of her life. She's never missed a 4th of July celebration and lives right on the parade route.
We have a sense of pride in our country and our kids.
This year's Flag Day ceremony marking a special occasion as longtime town crier Jerry McNeil passes the bell to Michael Riley.
A little surreal, I guess, just being able to see everyone and seeing all the faces, seeing everyone that comes here from all over the country.
4th of July celebration committee officials joining town officials and the chief marshal by honoring the American flag on the town green.
We needed something for our nation to rally around at the very beginning during the Revolutionary War, and it was the flag. And that flag has so much meaning to so many people.
Flag Day was started by President Woodrow Wilson in 1916 by a proclamation. And in 1949, it became National Flag Day by an act of Congress.
Today, we honor not only the flag of our great country, but what it symbolizes, We are honoring freedom.
Every year, Bristol celebrates the annual Miss 4th of July and Little Miss 4th of July pageant at the Mount Hope High School Auditorium. I'm ABC 6 News anchor Liz Tufts. This year, 27 contestants competed with hopeful hearts to be judged and crowned as the 2015 Miss and Little Miss 4th of July.
Because I always strive to do my best.
Months of preparation all coming down to this one moment. The crowning of Bristol's Miss and Little Miss 4th of July, 18-year-old Jessica Tella and 9-year-old Alana Martin.
Oh my gosh, it was honestly the best feeling in the world. I was just so honored to actually be named Miss 4th of July.
I was really shocked that I got the Little Miss 4th.
27 girls vied to be parade queens. It's a big honor. But putting the pageant together is no picnic.
It's like a big puzzle. We put pieces of it together throughout the year.
The competition opens with a musical number, then comes the judging. The girls dress up in evening wear, and each answers a question drawn at random.
I could have the birthday party of my dreams. I would have a huge ice cream bar with unlimited candy toppings.
If I could be president of the United States for a day, I would definitely address a parade. Some poor children.
The original idea of a queen to reign over the 4th of July parade was that of Dr. D.V.A. Capone, Dr. Samuel Clark, and Anthony Agatello. The concept by them at this time was simply that of a beauty contest. Some of the original 1948 rules are still in effect today. The contestants must be Bristol residents, 18 to 20 years of age, and be single. So the winners of the first contest, so-called beauty contest, was awarded a silver cup by the committee, $50, which is good money in those days, and a bolt of gabardine cloth by Collins and Aikman.
A standing ovation in a sea of red, white, and blue for Bristol's next 4th of July Chief Marshal, State Representative Raymond Gallison.
I can't tell you how happy I am.
Gallison will be heading the town's 230th Independence Day celebration. The 4th of July Committee's general chairman makes the selection months in advance. The job of Chief Marshal is the town's highest honor.
It's an accolade that most people in Bristol dream about. Very few people get it.
And Gallison doesn't take that lightly.
I'm humbled and I'm honored that I was even asked, even considered. It's just been wonderful.
His proud wife tearing up during his announcement speech. She's a born and bred Bristolian.
It is a bit emotional tonight for all of us.
Gallison has had fun keeping the secret until the big announcement. He even had to tell a white lie to get out of work at the State House early.
Had to play a little trick and had the Speaker Secretary call down and say that the Speaker wanted to see me.
It's a huge honor to be asked to be the patriotic speaker at the 4th of July parade in Bristol, because this is the center of the universe as far as patriotic speaking is concerned. Bristol is a synonym for community. I have never been in a place that is, on the one hand, so disparate in the nature of its inhabitants, and so together in its commitment to the idea of Bristol. And I think it is the 4th of July parade and the celebration that ties this community together. The speakers have very often, and most often, been from the local area, but occasionally have come from all over the country. But I think the most common theme has been for people who have been here for a very long time from the standpoint of their own ancestry. Descendants of Roger Williams, people that came over in the Mayflower. And I am a new citizen. I was born in Canada. I was on the other side during the war. And I think I speak for many residents of Bristol who are themselves new residents, new citizens, about the notion that patriotism is not something you necessarily inherit. It's something you can learn, and you can transfer your allegiance from one country to another. So I have a sticker on my refrigerator that says, I wasn't born in Bristol, here, but I got here as fast as I can.
Welcome back to Reflections of the 4th celebrating Bristol. I'm ABC 6 News anchor Melissa Randall. For more than 20 years, Jerry McNeil has been Bristol's town crier, leading the charge on Independence Day. This year, he's handing over those duties to a new, equally dedicated Bristolian. Since 1991, Jerry McNeil has called to the crowd with his bell, announcing the start of Bristol's grand July 4th parade.
22 years. Just getting started.
Bringing in smiles, pride, and another year of American independence, 2015 marks the end of Jerry's tenure as Bristol's longest-standing town crier.
I gave some serious thought to whether I should continue and have them carry me away, or I should simply back out slowly. So that's what I chose to do.
No longer will parade goers be on the lookout for his long white beard and familiar kind face.
Seeing all my friends that I don't see all year long, and I see them on the parade route, that's one of the best.
Taking over the post and equally dedicated to the task at hand is Michael Riley, whose grandfather, James D. Riley, rang the town crier's bell from 1975 to 1989.
Seen my grandfather in the parade as the town crier, our first town crier, in 1975, and he did that to 1989. And having known Jerry all my life, most of my life, to see him in the parade all these years, and now all of a sudden I'm leading the parade.
I was the chief marshal in 1986, which was year 201, but I was the second woman chief marshal. 4th of July was never an outsider's perspective in my home, in my family. My mother was born on the 3rd of July, and so we celebrated it on the 4th. And from the time I can remember, 4th of July was such a special day. There were 2 days, Christmas and 4th of July. And even when it was much smaller in scope than it is now, it was always so special. My mother thought it was all for her, and she didn't really, but she acted as if she did. And my Aunt Teresa Donovan, who was the first woman ever to be a chief marshal back in 1957, I think she thought she invented it, because I don't think there was ever a parade that she wasn't in from the time she was young. She started the Bristol High School Band back in the 30s, the Colt Memorial High School Band, marched in the parade with the kids. That's when the band had 25, 30 kids in it. Sometimes she'd play the bass drum in the band if she couldn't get a kid that could march. So our family just ate up 4th of July like you wouldn't believe. And it's like having been president of the United States. You're always Mr. President till the day you die. And you've always been a chief marshal. It lives with you the rest of your life. I mean, the average person passing me on the street doesn't know that, doesn't care. But I mean, when things go on, when there are festivities, you know, and they introduce all the former chief marshals, you know, and you're one of them, it's really, really exciting, really exciting. And to have been the second one after my, you know, a member of my family is really, really great.
It's done in the spirit of volunteerism, in the spirit of Independence Day. We all are dedicated to keeping Bristol in the forefront of the Independence Day celebration in the United States. And it involves a great deal of effort and a lot of people on 30 different subcommittees throughout the year, culminated with the 4th of July parade itself on July 4th. It's a dedication to patriotism and what the United States stands for. And we celebrate the day, and we celebrate our independence. There's 120 or so different personalities that have their own ideas of how things should be conducted. And we pride ourselves, and I say this all the time to my general committee people at meetings, we have to learn to get along even though we have differences of opinion. And you'd be amazed at the ideas that some people in a meeting environment come up with that are very, very good and very productive that you would never expect to hear from the floor. My favorite years are 2012 and 2013 when I was the parade chairman. The first one, we were lucky enough to get Olivia Copo in when she became Miss America. And Gary Wetzel, who was a Congressional Medal of Honor recipient from the Vietnam War. It was the first time we had one in the parade, and also to give credit where it's due in producing and putting on this celebration for 3 weeks. None of this would happen without the support of the Town Council, Tony Texera, the Town Administrator, the Department of Public Works, the Police Department, the Fire Department, the business community. This is not just the 4th of July committee. This is a combination of everyone in the town of Bristol's effort to make this celebration what it is.
Thank you for joining us for another beautiful 4th of July here in Bristol, home to our nation's oldest continuous Independence Day celebration.
We hope you enjoyed Reflections of the 4th celebrating Bristol, our tribute to a long-standing tradition of community, a nation's proud history, and the people that make it all possible.
Happy 4th of July!
On the shores of Narragansett is a town we all hold dear. For her girls and geese and onions, won fame for many a year. Lafayette and General Washington came to this grand old town